Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Call of Cthulhu blind. I'm still trying to escape the insane asylum, but before I do that, there's at least one room I have yet to investigate, which is the morgue, and to do that, this patient has agreed to help me if I bring him some sleeping pills, so I'm going to look for those. Allegedly, they are supposed to be in the storage room, which is right here, but I've been to the storage room and I haven't found any, so I'm not sure what's the trick. Okay, he didn't see me. Not sure what's the deal with that. There's a guy continuously walking between, I guess it's probably in the pharmacy rather than in the storage room, but I searched them both. There's a guard continuously walking between the pharmacy and the storage room. Although I guess sleeping pills might have not been active as an item before I knew that I need them, which would be a weird mechanic, but nothing unheard of. Emergency only. Nothing unheard of in video games. I don't think it's here, and to be honest, it would make more sense for it to be in the pharmacy as opposed to here. But I'll check again once the guy leaves, and then I'll follow him into the other room, which is actually the pharmacy. There were clearly some medication in the pharmacy itself, because Pierce actually actively commented on that. So
where do they keep their sleeping pills?
Yeah, right. Okay. So now I need to wait for this guy to go around. And there was a couple of sleeping pills. Small bottle of sleeping pills, probably used on patients who have trouble sleeping to find slumber. What? That sentence is weird. Have trouble sleeping to find slumber. What?
My new friend's sleeping pills.
I don't think that makes as much sense as the game would have liked me to believe, but whatever. Frick! Okay, will he close the corner, or?
I saw something over there.
I think I'm pretty screwed, actually, which is annoying because I don't think the game autosaved after I pick up the pills, and infuriatingly enough, there is literally no saving in this game. There is only the autosave, which is frequent-ish. It updates. It's definitely less annoying than freaking Dark Corners of the Earth, because in Dark Corners of the Earth there was actually a lot more possibilities of dying compared to here. But still, I find it annoying that there's no quick save. It autosaves frequently enough, after major story points or whatever, after you proceed. But I don't think it's saved after I picked up the sleeping pills, which is, as I said, annoying. But I should be able to. Well, first of all, there's a guard here, but I should be able to give this guy sleeping pills.
I've got what you want.
Show me!
Yeah, sure.
There. And remember, they don't come for free.
Don't you worry, you'll have your diversion. Go on now, go hide yourself. The crows! They're everywhere! Make them go away!
Okay, and...
The birds! They're attacking!
now I just need to keep on guard for the other guy. But this guy from in front of this door has gone over here, which is a perfect opportunity for me to get in there.
What carnage.
Hopefully he will stay there long enough for me to safely explore this. It's mostly covered anyway, you know. There are those, what do you call those in English? Man, this game has a lot of objects that I can't properly name in English. So they are not, you know, objects that I would usually describe. Anatomical diagrams. Again, a pair of arms. Oh, no, it's actually one arm, one leg, and one foot. Well, those are not cables, those are IV drips. And interestingly enough, I can't actually inspect any of the bodies using my medicine skill. Ah.
All the levers are activated.
Another book. This last opus deals with the history of modern medicine. With knowledge evolving very quickly since the beginning of the century, the contents of this book will prove to be obsolete in a few years. History of medicine in the 20th century. Okay, so do I want to fire up the electric machine or the gas machine? Because it seems to be exclusive, like the journal mentioned that they are both a way to create a distraction needed for me to escape this place. So I think out of the two it's probably wiser to power up to blow up, to overcharge the gas machine, because doing that will actually maybe nullify or at least lessen its effects, as opposed to powering up the electric machine, which I don't even know what it does, so it doesn't seem particularly wise to me to power it up. Although I must say, I'm kind of curious, but I think it's just wiser to destroy the gas machine given the opportunity. Wait, I actually didn't need to do that. Yeah, I totally didn't need to do that because I've cut the thingamajig, the chain at the gate, the lever with the bolt cutter, but I'm too far gone now to retreat. And by that I mean it would probably just take the same amount of time. Okay, so... well...
this lever must turn on the gas machine.
yeah, duh, that's what I figured, so let's do it.
I've got to hide before the guards see me.
Okay, let's go back to the vent. This way. No, it's actually kind of good idea to go into this vent because presumably now the door on the right is locked with a padlock, so they won't be able to get in here to there, and presumably if I leave to here, it actually goes straight out to the exit almost. The exit is here on the left. Oh, yep, no one here. But actually, I feel like this is the exit. So before I go to the exit proper, I feel like I should note this. Oh, this is the Francis... what was his name? Sanders?
Doctor, is that you?
Don't you worry about the doctor. Right now, he'll have plenty to keep him busy with his precious machine. It gives us time to get away. I'll undo you.
Get away? Get away where? I can't go anywhere. It'll find me, like it found me here. You're mistaken about the beast. Don't stay with me, or you'll end up the same way.
I don't have enough to diagnose him, but I do have enough in occult knowledge by now to notice something unnatural here. So, let's do that.
What is the exact nature of the beast you're running away from?
You've got instinct, a sensitivity for the invisible. It puts you in danger. The creature that is pursuing me is not from our world.
After what I've seen so far on this island, I'm ready to believe you.
Don't do that! Do not believe, or you'll end up like us all.
What happened to you, Sanders?
The real culprit is Sarah. Her and her accursed paintings.
You're kidding me. You're talking about Sarah Hawkins.
The one and only. The legendary. There is no artist more enlightened or cursed than Sarah Hawkins.
Well?
In her office, I saw signs of a ritual, perhaps an invocation. These things, that's what makes you say she's cursed.
You're wrong. It was not an invocation, but a revocation. But she failed. And that's what counts.
What's going on this island?
I'm so sorry. We should never have met.
What are you talking about?
Destiny! It has trapped you. No, don't let it see you, or you won't be able to escape it. Don't look at it. That's how it finds you.
What finds me?
Sarah Hawkins' visitor. The Chandler.
Sanders, pull yourself together.
Without her, it's no longer possible to save me. No!
Sanders! What the hell? I got it.
Well, that was pretty weird.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
This is insane. What killed him?
Yeah, that's kind of my question exactly. Like, he doesn't seem to be physically hurt, so it's almost like something. Well, anyway, what he was talking about is kind of interesting. Not in the part about Sarah Hawkins being involved and the paintings being involved, because that was kind of a given. What was interesting, though, to me, was the part where he said something akin to the fact of, if you believe in it, it will find you, or something. Like, he kind of alluded to the possibility that it's belief itself that enables the creature to kill you, which I find to be a very cool concept. Like, you know, a creature that's powered by your imagination, and the very fact that you believe in it gives it power, and the stronger it is, the easier it is to believe in its existence. So it's almost like a loop of doom. Is there really nothing here? Weird. Ah, this is the other door. So I guess it went in a loop anyway. Okay, this is slightly opened, which seems to indicate it's the main road. This is closed anyway, so it's not like I have a choice.
Damn!
Okay, it seems I'm seriously tripping.
Oh, my head.
Later. We need to move on.
Bradley. I guess he rescued me or something? Hawkins mansion. Pierce woke up in an asylum, instead installed in the cellars of the Riverside Institute. He met Dr. Colden, a female friend of Bradley, who helped him escape. Wandering through the corridors of this place, where Dr. Fuller reigns supreme, Pierce was able to talk to a man called Francis Sanders. Before dying in full view of the detective, he accused Sarah Hawkins of being the cause of his torments. Pierce finally left the accursed building, accompanied by Bradley and Colden. The companions in misfortune decide to use the Hawkins mansion as a hideout.
Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
Okay, I'll go to listen on their conversation.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day's only starting. It's fine.
Okay, let's... Before, I wanted to go down to listen to what they are talking about in between themselves, but I guess they stopped now. So before I talk to them, which would presumably proceed the main quest, I want to see if something has changed here, if there are any new books or any new items we can interact with.
No. I want to know what Bradley and Dr. Colden have to say about all this.
Although, it's kind of cool how the whole atmosphere has changed now that I am here in the daylight as opposed to in the night. You know, it's the exact same room, but it looks and feels very different just because of the lighting change. I actually enjoy that very much in games, you know, visiting the same location but in different circumstances and see how the mood changes. Okay, I could have a drink of whiskey, but I don't think I will. I don't consider it wise, seeing how I'm an alcoholic. Like, I should stay away from all alcohol. Although, again, as I said a number of times, it might not be entirely true in this kind of setting, but I didn't drink so far, so I guess I'll stick to it and see what it avails me in the end. Which is probably insanity or death, or insanity followed by death. It's a pretty common situation in Lovecraftian stories.
No. I want to know what Bradley and Dr. Colden have to say about all this.
Okay. Guess I must talk to them.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
Well, what does it mean, was the object of a cult? Not sure I agree with that, because I'm not sure I understand what the protagonist wants to say. She was definitely involved in some way, but what does it mean that she was an object? Like, it seems to imply that they were worshipping her, which I don't think was the case. But anyway, let's try it.
I saw people in hoods. They had stolen Mrs. Hawkins' paintings.
Who are you talking about? Why would they do such a thing?
I don't know, but they were a threat. They've taken over the caves under the mansion. They were performing some kind of ritual. One of the entryways was under Charles Hawkins' office.
We suspect Mr. Hawkins of being involved.
My patients believe the old islanders used to worship primitive sea gods. Could they be the focus of the cult?
Am I hearing this right?
So you think me gullible?
No, not at all.
What else did you uncover, Mr. Pierce?
Wait. But what's the deal with Bradley? Like, he was there, even disregarding the part in which he supposedly died. He did go with me into the caves, and he did see the cultists, so why is he quiet about it?
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
Well, it makes me sound like an insane person myself, but this is true, and, the thing is, in this universe, the Shambler is real as well, I would imagine. There's no point trying to deny that.
I didn't see what, but something was there, with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
That's true, but I feel like it's a philosophical matter to kind of, the exact definition of truth, but I feel like if you sincerely believe what you are saying is true, then you should say it, even if it's improbable or weird to others, because I saw what I saw. I might be insane, that's technically a possibility, but if I invented some other story about it, as opposed to what I actually witnessed, I think it would have been worse. So I think we should be, truthful.
He's right. We can't ignore the truth.
But it could drive her mad.
Oh, this
Better
will affect your
madness
destiny.
than ignorance. Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, about that. I would very much like to talk to Bradley.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
You and me both. Why
The other
wouldn't
night's
he?
events are still confused in my head.
Why wouldn't he explain himself about the part where he's supposedly died, or at least the part where we confronted Charles Hawkins? Why is he not referring to that at all? It kind of drives me mad. It makes me suspicious of him.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
Well, can I open the doors up here now, maybe? Because I want to see if the other parts of the mansion... Okay, leave. If the other parts of the mansion are available. But I guess if they both say leave, then I guess the answer is no. So let's go. Chapter 6, Sanders' Residence. Pierce, Colden and Bradley decided to team up to solve the Sarah Hawkins case. They have a new trail to follow, Francis Sanders, an art collector and a friend of the painter, who died right in front of Pierce. The detective goes to his house in order to speak with his widow about the shambler that the unfortunate man mentioned before he died.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
Our paths crossed, briefly. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
Okay, I feel like this is plain courtesy. Well, I kind of feel like this is not relevant because she didn't mention anything about feeling guilty, and it's weird to say it out of the blue, kind of, but in the limited scope of responses that the game gives me, I think it's okay to use this response, because it's, at least it tries to be kind of empathetic. Although, again, it's kind of weird because she doesn't sound like she feels guilty, but let's try it.
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
My eloquence is not the best, but I'll still try to use it.
It's terrible what happened to your husband, but I had nothing to do with it. I was injured, and I came across him in the hospital quite by chance.
Injured? Well, I'm delighted to see you in such fine fettle, Detective. Not everybody enjoyed such a prompt recovery.
I suppose Fuller does do miracles now and again.
Luck is obviously very kind to you. Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Okay, but clearly it didn't really work. And I feel like Pierce's choice of words was kind of asshole-ish, because he basically implied that Dr. Fuller did a good job on him. Like, he was like, I recovered rather fine, and the implication being your husband on the other hand, is like dead. And she clearly got it the same way, because she responded very sarcastically, and she was clearly annoyed.
How did you come to meet Sarah Hawkins?
We were the wealthiest and most influential families on Darkwater. Of course we would know each other. And when Charles returned from Europe with his sweet little artist, she and her sinister paintings were destined to catch my husband's eye. He bought many of her works over the last 5 years. They adorn his macabre gallery.
I don't think it's any of my business, but it's a game, and I am going to ask it as well.
May I ask you what Miss Baker is doing here? How do you know her?
My business with Miss Baker is private, Mr. Pierce.
But you do know what kind of business Miss Baker is in, don't you?
I am no fool. Please believe that much, at least.
Okay.
I deduce that your husband already mentioned this dimensional shambler.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
It's kind of weird that Pierce is suddenly surprised that the shambler is a painting, because he already knew that. I've read a note by Sarah Hawkins herself, noting the purchase. I mean, not the purchase, noting the fact that she has gifted the painting to Francis Sanders. So I'm not quite sure what's Pierce's deal. Can I play the piano? Is it part of a what's the word? Puzzle, perhaps? Play a particular tune? Wouldn't know at the current moment. It's quite a nice paysage, and it's a little bit foreboding, but I guess that's the point. You know, the color scheme is a bit grim, but it looks nice. Okay, this is weird. Some kind of a demon imp. Whoa, whoa, this is even weirder. Is that her? In like an abstract style? It kind of looks like it. Yeah, it looks like her very much, to be honest. But I don't think it's by Sarah Hawkins, because it lacks the signature. Okay, let's...
The day the shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Photograph of Sarah Hawkins next to the Sanders. They must be close. This is the shambler, I imagine. It's weird that she says she refuses to step into the gallery, and yet she keeps a miniature version of the shambler here in this photo. I find it kind of an incongruent behavior.
Did she really care for him after all?
Dear Madame, I acknowledge receipt of the letter in which you demand the body of your deceased husband. I am sorry to inform you that I cannot agree to the return of the body to you. At the moment of his interment, you signed the discharge, allowing me to dispose of the body as I see fit. I extend my deepest condolences to you, Thomas Fuller. Okay. Brewery of Medicine. Breviary of Medicine. Tome 2. The second volume in the series covers everything from gas gangrene to trench rhinitis. In addition to a precise and detailed study, this book presents some avant-garde theories. The incredible complexity of this book reserves it for medical experts. And here I am, reading it in 2 minutes with my astonishing 28% in medicine. Okay, there's like a gramophone. Well, it's not a gramophone, it doesn't have like the dish for the vinyl. It's, how do you call it? Phonograph. Okay. I think you insert like rolls, like rolls to it, and it produces a sound. It reads the rolls. Some kind of a castle. Weird abstract tentacles. Okay, let's enter the reconstruction here. Not quite sure what am I reconstructing, but
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even? Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting?
But she didn't sell it even in the end. She gave it up for free.
A house of artists. He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom?
So he really wanted to acquire this painting for some reason.
She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel? Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins?
Okay. He clearly didn't like thinking about the painting.
The Shambler. I need to see it.
So apparently, Francis, well, at least if I am to believe this vision that I just saw, Francis tore out his eyes after staring into the painting for too long. Oh, that's a seriously creepy figurine. It's like a, I don't know what even, like a manticore, or with horns, and I don't know what is that, but it's seriously creepy and kind of interesting looking. This portrait is kind of creepy as well. Like, it looks pretty normal at first glance, but there is something weird about the eyes of that woman. A lot of weird paintings in here. But I don't think they are by Sarah Hawkins, because, as I said, they are not signed.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
An audio recording that Francis Sanders left for his wife, Irene. Session 1.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids. Each time I shut my eyes,
That wasn't too enlightening, to be honest.
Anymore. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Whoa. Okay, that was trippy. And I love that. Like, that was exactly what I was talking about, because there was like a trail of blood running down the cheek of that woman in the painting, but when I concentrated my eyes on it, it disappeared. I love that. This is great. I'm looking forward to more things like this. Wait. Did I look at this before? Did the eyes look so weird before? I'm kind of tripping myself now, which is even better, actually. Nothing that interesting outside. But I did love that effect. It's pretty great. That's exactly what I was talking about back in the asylum. Well, continue. Skulls. And this is Kat Baker. So I guess this is his office, Francis's office, because she said she will wait there.
I could use one of those.
I found the sleeping pills in the Sanders house. Were they prescribed to Francis or to Irene? It seems half of this island is taking sleeping pills.
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. Dear Francis, I beg you to give up all hope of ever owning this accursed painting. Our friendship has any meaning for you. Please spare me the weight of guilt. I can't be the architect of your fall. I beg you, my dear friend, forget the shambler. Your friend, Sarah Hawkins. Okay.
An old diary.
Diary of the Pastor's Wife, Volume 3. This volume spends some time on the Reverend Wakenwood's community. His wife expresses her worries about the strange dreams that the Reverend congregation are having since their arrival on the island. Some members of their community, her husband included, began to speak of their vision as a messenger sent by God. She is scared that they will suffer the same fate as the lost tribe. I guess this might be connected to the fact that the Cthulhu cult seems to also believe some kind of a bastardized version of some tenets of Christianity, because they have like a rosary of Cthulhu Virgin Mary, and they also have like an annotated Bible. The Whale and the Cod, a brief history of Darkwater Island. It is focused on the past glory of the island.
A strange Amerindian pendant.
An ancient amulet, probably Amerindian. What? What does Amerindian mean? Does it mean like Native American? Because it's interesting, because in Polish, in Polish is kind of what's the word? You would say Indian. You would say Indian to refer to Native Americans, and Hindu to refer to the actual inhabitants of India. But I guess the term Native American wasn't really used in the 1920s, because the Manifest Destiny and all that. But what does it mean? Like, does this mean Native American, or because I don't know this word, I don't know such a culture even. What does it refer to? Like, I feel kind of stupid, but I wonder what its purpose could be. Well, I don't know. I can force open like a strong box or something. Dissertation on the anatomical question. It's the work of a student in book form. Although the observations are relevant, they lack the expertise of an experienced physician. However, the question asked allowed us to imagine new ways of exploring the human anatomy. Okay, so before I'll check the strong box. Key to the gallery, okay. But this episode has been long enough, so I won't talk to Cat yet. Instead, as always, I will check the journal. So if you're not interested in that, you might just skip the rest of the episode. So, let's check the latter part. This man, Francis Sanders, died right before my eyes, tortured by the doctor, a dirty bandage covering his eyes, dying. He was lifted off the ground and his body twisted, as if an invisible power was handling it. I didn't see anything, but with the gas they sent into the cells, the injections, I don't know what's true. He accused Sarah Hawkins just before he died. That confirms the fact that they knew each other. Hawkins Manor. I finally reached the stairs that led to the first floor of the Riverside Institute, but on the way I inhaled some gas that was leaking from a damaged pipe, and I passed out. I remember Bradley, really? Who was talking to me, and I came into the Hawkins mansion. I must understand what I'm doing here and what happens next. The Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close, it's undeniable. The widow didn't tell me everything, but her house speaks for her. Everything began with Francis Sanders' obsession with the Shambler, an exceptional painting in more ways than one. In theory, Francis Sanders was a renowned art collector. I must question his widow, Irene Sanders, to know more about his links with the Sarah Hawkins, and to discover the identity of the visitor he talked about before he died. The Shambler is a painting. Again, I'm not sure why is he so surprised by that all of a sudden, because he knew that all the way back from investigating Sarah Hawkins' office. Irene Sanders doesn't seem to know what she hates most, Sarah Hawkins or her work. The fact remains that she accuses her of costing her husband's sanity. He apparently gouged out his own eyes under the influence of the painting. I must see it. The key in the gallery is probably in the office. The Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close, it's undeniable. The widow didn't tell me everything, but her house speaks for herself. Everything began with Francis Sanders' obsession with the Shambler. Wait, this is literally the same paragraph as this. Like, literally, look at it. Kind of hilarious, but also kind of annoying. I have 5 character points. So I'll put 4 to investigation, and then remaining 1 towards eloquence. Now, sanity. It seems for now I'm checking each of the boxes. I haven't missed anything as far as mental trauma goes. And apparently I'm at a shaken level now. The ordeals you have gone through have left their mark. You still manage as best you can. Keep your mind busy in order to chase away any doubts and painful memories. You still have some way to go. Who knows where your mind could lead you along the paths of insanity. Macabre discovery. Or rather, macabre discovery. It's very clearly a mistake. Searching through the cellars of the Riverside Institute, Pierce entered a room that he first took for a morgue. But the advanced state of decay of the corpses that lay about the place quickly made him realize he was wrong. Nothing could justify the presence of such a charnel house in a hospital. The putrid smell and the total absence of respect for human life, as witnessed by this room, profoundly shocked Pierce, costing him some of his sanity. Death of Francis Sanders. The weirdness of Francis Sanders' death went far beyond anything Pierce had ever seen. Lifted off his feet by an invisible force, the poor man's body was carried into the air before being thrown violently against the bars of his hiding place. Pierce, powerless, watched the limbs break and Sanders' body crumble to the ground. During long moments of agony, the detective saw nothing that could explain this event. Weakened by his wounds and the operations he could remember undergoing, Pierce began to question his ability to tell the difference between reality and the nightmares that haunt him. Okay. Darkwater. Francis Sanders, deceased. Art dealer. Francis Sanders knew Sarah Hawkins so well that he accused her of being the source of his suffering. The man gouged out his own eyes with his own hands and smeared the walls of his cell with esoteric symbols. He seemed to be obsessed with the shambler linked to Sarah Hawkins. He died before my eyes, in circumstances that I cannot explain. Dr. Fuller, Riverside's senior physician. Dr. Fuller reigns as an undisputed master of the Riverside Institute and of its cellars, in which he carries out illegal experiments on his patients. I don't know what he has done to me, but I shouldn't be back on my feet so soon after the fall, when the tunnels under Hawkins' mansion caved in. This man is dangerous, and I'd swear he knows more about all of this business than he's willing to tell. Irene Sanders, occupation? None. It's clear that she holds Sarah Hawkins responsible for the death of her husband, but what I don't understand about her is the mix of sadness and insensitivity. It looks like she has given up on her husband long before his horrid death in the cellars of the Riverside Institute. Okay. Clues. Nothing in here, but there's a thing. Well, actually, all of those are the same, so there's just this. At the Sanders. Cross-checking the information given by Francis Sanders and his widow, it is possible to reconstruct the events that led to the interment of Sanders. Everything points to Sanders and Sarah Hawkins being close, linked at least by the interest the collector showed in the artist's work, more probably by certain friendship. Attested to by the repeated refusal of Sarah Hawkins to sell the painting called The Shambler. Against all expectations, she finally gave it away for free. The feelings still shown by Irene towards Sarah Hawkins are evidently derived from what she considered to be the artist's responsibility. Madness struck Sanders shortly after he gained the possession of the painting. Again, I missed one of the tabs here. This is about the Institute, probably. Cellars of the Riverside Institute. Strictly speaking, I didn't spend much time in the hospital. When I woke up, I was immediately transferred to the cellars of the Institute, a sort of clandestine asylum where Dr. Fuller carried out his experiments on patients without being troubled. Unknown machines sit beside anatomical drawings that are disturbing, to say the least. I managed to escape from this place. I might not have as much luck another time. Okay, and the inventory, nothing particularly interesting here. And this just repeats what I found. Okay, so that's everything for this one. I will see you in the next one. Bye!